My dad was a secretive monster. I exposed him and crushed his drug empire to save my family. When did you realize your parent was the real monster in your house? I never thought I'd say this out loud or even believe it myself. But looking back, it's painfully obvious that my dad was the worst kind of monster-own who hides behind the facade of family while dragging all of us through hell. You always hear stories about parents who abuse their kids, cheat on their spouses, or ruin lives with drugs. But I thought my family was different. Turned out, not so much. I realized the truth when I was 17. My parents seemed normal on the surface. Dad worked a menial job, Mom stayed home, took care of the two younger kids. But the cracks were always there if you looked closely. Dad was a raging alcoholic, which my mom shielded us from. But the drunken rages were something no kid should witness. The yelling, the slamming doors, broken plates, standard stuff. Or so I thought. What I didn't see coming was the darker side that hid in the silence. One night, I came home late from a friend's after a party. I knew Dad was probably drunk again, so I was extra cautious sneaking in. I heard voices in the living room. Dad's deep, growling voice and a woman's sobbing peeking through the cracked door. I saw a girl I didn't recognize, probably around 22, crying on the couch while Dad was towering over her, furious. I was stunned, frozen. She was begging him to stop, tears everywhere. Then Dad grabbed her arm roughly, dragged her outside by force, throwing slurs as she screamed. That girl was the landlord's niece, who'd been staying over because of some family drama. I never got her name. The next day, rumors spread she showed up missing, and the landlord was fuming that his niece was last seen at my house. My mom denied knowing anything. We never mentioned her again, but that was just the beginning. Over the next few months, I started noticing small things. Money missing, my mom's bruises hidden by lawn sleeves, the way my siblings would flinch when Dad walked into the room. He wasn't just abusing us emotionally and verbally, it was physical and twisted. One time, I caught him trying to sneak pills into my little brother's candy stash. He was selling whatever drugs he got his hands on, right under our roof, and using us as pawns to hide the stash. I tried to tell my mom. She just broke down crying and begged me to stay quiet, said she was trying to hold the family together. But I couldn't handle it anymore. One night, after Dad passed out drunk on the couch, I grabbed my phone and secretly recorded him mumbling about deals, threats to people, and how no one will ever take this family from me. I took the recording to a local cop I secretly trusted, and after weeks of stalling, my whole nightmare came crashing down. Dad got arrested for drug trafficking, domestic abuse, and assault. The house that once felt like a cage became a refuge when we finally... But here's the kicker. I found out later that my mom had been working with Dad in his drug scheme all along, laundering money and covering for him because she was hooked on the lifestyle and the fear of independence. When Dad landed in jail, she lost control. She tried to keep us under her thumb, manipulated us, and even tried to turn my siblings against me for breaking up the family. So I cut ties with both of them. It's been 3 years now. I graduated, moved far away, and started rebuilding my life around people who actually care. Every once in a while, I get a call from my little siblings. Mom is spiraling deep into addiction, and somehow Dad's influence still haunts the family. But you want the revenge? Here it is. Once I had the evidence, I didn't just hand it over. I smartly recorded their conversations, exposing them entirely to the cops. Thanks to me, those two lost their empire, their freedom, and the twisted hold they had on my life, and I got to finally breathe free. So yeah, I realized my parents were the real monsters the moment I saw that girl crying in my living room. But I didn't stop there. I became the monster they never expected, and that was exactly what I needed to survive.